which is fun after 3 weeks of training camp and the monotony starts to set in a little bit at times with everybody. That's part of it. Our guys do a good job and doing a good job as a culture of making sure we reset every day. But it's nice to get into game week and start some processes a little bit new and catch guys' attentions and start to teach some new guys in the program how we do things in a given game week. So, and to see another face, another face and another color. So it's nice.
How do you avoid this being a trap game, Coach? Obviously, your favorite by over 4 touchdowns. How do you avoid that?
I don't know. The trap game thing is that's for everybody else. The trap game is just losing focus. You got to go into every game with a certain mindset and process that teaches guys how to do things and how to prepare. Today's first and second down. That's all we're thinking about versus NAU. It's a good team we're playing. It's a top 20 defense in FCS. I mean, they're a playoff team in the FCS. We played Wyoming last year, who were a 9-win team. You don't take anybody lightly. Our team doesn't take anybody lightly. They're nameless and faceless in a lot of ways as you get a game plan put together. And that doesn't mean there's no diminishing of what they are. It's just you got to focus on yourself first. Got to go in and do the things that create identity type football that we want to play with, and that's the only focus we've got.
How much easier is it to be having a coach with your offense and open up the playbook with so many guys back in the system again?
Yeah, I mean it's always good to be in year two. Year two, guys have heard my voice. They've heard some of the things we do. We've got the staff together, and it's the first time I was with the staff last year in any capacity. Not one guy on the staff was with us at any other stops that I was at. So I think to have the continuity there in a lot of ways is always good. You get through the jargon and the verbiage faster. Guys feel more comfortable. You're able to put some more layers onto teaching. By no stretch of imagination, we're in year 5 or 10. We're in the second season. So there's a lot of stuff still to be taught, and young guys are doing a good job of picking it up and rolling.
You spent a portion of the fall camp trying to find that starting center. Can you just talk about the process? Looking at Wade a little, but now go back to that.
Yeah, I mean that's the beauty of fall camp, and when you're trying to go through it and get some rotations down at any position, running back, center, your slots, whatever it may be, is you got 1,200 reps to count on, and those reps got to count. And so we've used those every practice to do a good job of evaluating whether we're in any period we're in, whether it's a team, scrimmage, 7-on-7, guys are centers over snapping for us, and 7-on-7, which is a little bit different, getting centers a few more reps of snapping the ball. But I really enjoyed the process we got and the evaluation we got with those guys in the depth and interior line.
As far as a follow-up, does this offensive line really feel like the well-oiled machine of 4 starters returning? Do you really feel that vibe every game?
Yeah, you get that in a lot of phases. You can't minimize Leaf having been a starter, let alone my system before I weavered here. You just can't minimize that. That's the reality of it. But those guys have done an awesome job starting as soon as we got done last season of saying, okay, now we've got to make sure we close the gap on that. And the guys who've been around at the same spot, those 4 other guys who've been in their other spots have really helped with the chemistry and the glue and communication. So,
what's your sense of where Sam's might show up most?
I think this is going to process a little faster as a sophomore. I think just being able to see the game a little bit, it'll slow down at certain times. You just got to stay within the confines of the offense, stay in the confines of the growth, not try to do too much. Situational football will come into play, being able to take care of the ball in his body in certain instances, but still being aggressive and not pulling a stinger. So I think just the maturity position is going to show up in both the different ways.
You've seen that kind of show up the rest of the team kind of rub off?
Yeah, anybody who sets the standard, starting with us coaches or Jenny or anybody who sets the standard for a program who's together and people are together that much, that often. There's inherently if he's here every day early and I'm the guy coming right after that and I'm seeing him every day early, and then when I leave he's still here, it starts to make a trend, especially when it starts to become contagious. And you get a lot of guys who are really developing the dark hour type of mentality and putting the extra work. Yeah, it definitely can be an influence.
Coach, how does it feel to be the hunted versus the hunter this year? The team's not going to look past you guys at all.
Yeah, that's what you hope for, right? That's the whole goal. Is you've been in the last year and you do what you got to do, and now you reap the benefits. It's a byproduct of winning and doing things the right way. You just got to handle it the right way. You got to teach yourself how to function, how to have good habits, how to obsess about the thinking and the culture as opposed to all the stuff that's out there externally. And I think that's a process in itself, as we all know. But our guys have done a good job day in and day out of understanding that here and that. And when there's been any bumps or hurdles in that, we've played through it.
How do you think this practice went today? Like this game, first game?
Yeah, I think today was Tuesday, which was good. I always anticipate the first time close the playbook on training camp and you move to an opponent, there's some sticking. That's the reality of just having been in the monotony. You've seen a certain defense and now you're seeing someone else. I told the offense today the biggest thing is over communication. The coach mentioned after practice to everybody is now you got to pretend that there's certain guys who have been around. The whiteboard has been cleaned off at training camp and you've got to rewrite the whiteboard for them. They've got to not be in the continuity of practice 20 at training camp and think they know. Now we've got some little idiosyncrasies of a game plan and an opponent that may be different from practice 17 of training camp. So you anticipate that as a coach. There's always going to be a little bit of that. And you get in, you coach it up, get it fixed, walk through it, talk through it, and then move on.
You're excited to be in front of the fans on Saturday night, just see them out there and just cheer. It sounds like there's 40,000 seats sold.
Oh man, yeah, it's fire to be back in front of the Valley. I mean, it's gonna be wild. It's gonna be really good. Our home stadium has been a thing since I've been here. It's a real deal, and you got to keep it that way. So home field advantage has got to be something that we keep near and dear to us.
And he was talking about yesterday how Tyson and Leeds have been kind of neck and neck all fall camp, and that they're kind of have their each individual skill sets. I guess, how do you kind of see their individual skill sets and how they can be utilized with certain packages?
Yeah, I mean those guys have been both by committee all camp. I don't see those two very very different in regards to what they're able to do as far as run game, pass protection, screen game, pass game. Both those guys have the tools that work in our offense, as we saw last year. They got to be a switchblade in that backfield. And so I'm excited about both those guys to get out there and be able to share responsibility whenever their role gets called on.
How do you feel about how Kanye has progressed himself?
Good. Kanye's again in the first training camp of our deal and having a chance to see a brand new playbook, like a foreign language. If we went from dive option to pro offense, and so now it's like okay, it's like order in some other country in another language. You're sweating out for a minute before you figure out what chips and salsa sounds like.
Coach, are you saying your playbook's pretty complicated? The language
No, I'm not. I'm just saying the difference of what he ran at Army versus what we have is very different. It's just he's done a great job. Mature kid who's smart, and we knew that's what it would take. You can't go to take such a drastic turn with somebody you don't think can apply that. It's a recruiting thing. So I thought we did a good job of evaluating his ability and his learning curve.
Just curious if you had to label your playbook. Is it like NFL 18 sentences long, or is it
No,
where would you put
style,
it?
Yeah, but we've